If you're like me, you've probably gathered together a bunch of the fabrics that you're going to use to cut these blocks, and you're storing them in a cute little basket. You've got fat quarters and all kinds of things. As you can see, I'm making my quilt out of red, black, and white, and gray assorted fabrics. Well, these are still too big a piece of fabric. Cut those fabrics down to be very usable. You can see the two pieces I have. Now, because I'm going to show you cutting half square triangles, and they are going to be sewn together, I want to cut them together. And I've actually, you might want to try this. I've put the fabrics together and I actually sprayed them with a little spray, not starch because bugs like starch, but some of the special spray sizing and other materials. That seems to give them a little extra body and keeps the triangles nicely together. So the first thing I want to do is true up my edge. I am cutting my strips on the lengthwise grain, and you'll find all kinds of information about that in our conversion charts and on other videos. But I want to put my cutter in and pull it back off, because if you push against that, it's very easy to distort. But if I put it in and come off and then go forward, I'll never have that little distortion at the end. Now at this point, most of you go around the table or you lift your fabric. I'm just going to move my ruler. I need to measure how wide the strip will be, because I'm cutting the half square triangle, and because we have engineered corners, I can measure that strip with the square, or if I prefer, I can use a ruler to measure that 2-inch strip. But I know I need a 2-inch strip, so there you go. Put the cutter in, pull it back off, run that up. You don't need to move your fingers, walk your fingers along with it on this short of a strip. I'm going to do it again, because then we can stack 2 strips and we'll be cutting more pieces at one time. So let's stack those pieces, and there's one more thing I'm going to pull out. I like to use mat, because this is where we're going to cut off the corners. So now with my template, and some people do like to use some kind of a, these are what we call the Steady Betty strips, and it's just a little foam piece that keeps it from moving. I don't usually use that, but if you have any trouble, if you have arthritis or anything, you may want to add those to your shopping list. Now again, I want to put my cutter in and pull it back off, because I don't have an acrylic edge going all the way to the edge of the fabric. So cutter in, make sure your cutter's straight up and that the blade is actually touching the acrylic. Come back off and just move right back forward. You see, you're not lifting your cutter at that point. Now, the reason I like this other mat is I can rotate it. Sure, you can have a rotating mat, or you can have a little mat like this. And now I'm going to cut off those dog ears. It's really pretty amazing how big those extra pieces of fabric are. And I want to cut the square corner off too, and right here, and you see how that easily falls off. Now I've just cut my first 2 pairs of triangles, and because I have that nice engineered corner, do you see that when I go to the sewing machine, how nice it's going to be to chain piece these? So I'll put this right back on the mat and keep on cutting as many pieces as I need. Since you're making these blocks, if you cut a little extra strip, don't worry, just put it back in your little basket, because you're going to need that size strip again for some other block. Happy cutting!